So this particular sheet is 26 centimeters by 21 centimeters. You can take any normal sheet, drawing sheet, or you can even check your computer sheet. Second thing that we will be needing today are our normal basic stationery like pencil, rubber, a protractor. So I'll be using my protractor. We'll be needing a compass. Now we'll be needing some black gel pens. So here it is optional. You can either go in for normal black gel pens, preferably going for gel pens which are fade proof, waterproof. So here I'm using few of my, so this is a micro fine tip liner waterproof pen that I'm using. So there are two micro tip liners that I'm using here. One is a 0.3 and one is a 0.6. You can use a normal gel pen that is available which is fade proof, waterproof. I'm also going to be using a technical pen which is 0.8. You can use 0.6, 0.8, any pen which is available. I'll be using my watercolors. Now this is also optional. You can use your sketch pens or brush pens or poster colors which are available with you. Any of those colors are good. Now what we are going to do is I am marking a point at the center of the sheet. Okay, just mark your point at the center of the sheet. Then from that point mark few points. First point that I'm marking is at 5 centimeters. Then 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, these are the points that I'm marking. Now we are going to take our compass. We are going to make circles at the various points. So first point at which I'm taking a marking my circle is at 5 centimeters. Now since I'm doing it on camera, I'm marking it really dark, but if you just want reference circles, please mark it really light so that your final look of the mandala is really good. Second circle is at 6 centimeters. The third one is at 7 centimeters. This is the radius that we are talking about. Next circle is at 8 centimeters. So there is enough space which I have created inside. Next is at 9 centimeters. And the last circle that I am creating here is at 10 centimeters. So the last circle is at 10 centimeter radius. We are going to make the grid. So for making the grid, what is really important is to create reference lines. Okay. So for creating reference lines, just draw a line like this. Now put a protractor. If you have a normal protractor of 180 degrees, that is also fine. Otherwise, you can use this particular protractor too. So what I'm doing is I'm coinciding this with 0 degree here and 180 degree here. I'm putting both these points on this line. Now simply mark points. We are creating a basic mandala grid. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So we are going to do it for all 360 degree, all the points we are going to create here, and we are going to create a grid the other side. So we have created all our points. I have marked my points in the second. Inside I don't want to mark anything because we are going to be creating Ganpati Ji inside. So we want that to be a clear space that we have with us. Now take this point, put your scale, coincide it with the center point and this point like this, and simply draw a line. Do not draw the line inside. Okay, we don't want to touch the inside portion, so leave the inside portion completely. So here I am joining my points to create a proper grid. So be really careful when you create your grid. This is going to basically determine how beautiful your mandala figures out to be in the end. And we've done various mandala lessons. In case you've not seen those, I will mention the channel link and everything on the video in a bit, and then you can have a look. So this way we've created our grid. Now we will keep our grid. I'm going to take my eraser. I'm going to remove the center line only till here. I'm not touching my grid line. Okay. This is because I want to create a watercolor effect inside. on top of which we are going to be creating Ganesh in the end. Now if you don't have watercolors or you don't want to use them, you can also do the same using your brush pens. Okay, just open your watercolors and you can use any colors of your choice here. I'll do a mixture of yellow, and if your sheet is very thin sheet or computer sheet, then be a little careful if you are using your watercolors. If you are using a thicker sketchbook sheet, then it is fine, or if you are using a watercolor sheet, then also it is fine. Otherwise it may dry to give you a wavy kind of a pattern. So just be careful of either not opting for watercolors or doing it lightly so that there is not too much water left to make the sheet wavy. So here I am doing yellow and orange, and I just want to merge the colors together. If you want darker colors, just increase your blend of the colors on the base. I just want to blend it here, so I will blend my yellow with the orange. So now I'm going to leave this to dry. I will be using my watercolors later on in bits and pieces of the mandala. I'm going to just let this dry and we are going to start our mandala designing work. So for mandala designing work, I'm going to be taking out my pens. Whichever pens are available with you, please take them out. Don't do the line exactly next to the watercolor. It's going to bleed and blend together. So I'm going to be careful when I'm using that. So in portions where it is a little dried, only in that portions we are going to start our line work. So here we are going to make use of the grid that we have created. So I'm starting from here. And I'm first I'm not going to touch too much near the water, wo bleed karega. Just be a little careful, or you can wait for your watercolor to dry up completely when you're doing it on. So the number that I'm using here is a 0.3. I'm creating another line and I'm going to be creating a petal thing like this. So these are rounded petals that we are creating here. As we proceed further in the lines of the mandala, we are going to use different kinds of complex shapes. So the grid becomes really useful when you are doing in pattern work, and in future if you want to frame these, then this works really well. The grid pattern really helps in creating them as symmetric as possible. So we are done with our first line. So now we come to our second line. So second line is going to be here. Now for the second line, we are going to take a different pattern. I'm going to be taking the midpoints. I'm just taking a little thicker pen, 0.6 pen here. And we are going to be creating a spiral. So I'm creating my spiral. And my spiral is coming in such a way that it is touching both these lines. Okay, that is why we are using the grid. Here I am going to be creating my petals like this. Now the same we are going to be following here. This is my center point. So when you are making this spiral, it touches the lower line, okay, and it touches the 2 points that we have created. So from the center point, we create the spiral like this. And from this point, we are creating an elongated drop which comes up here. So here I am creating this 3 petal flower shape here on both sides. So let me just finish my petals from here. So we've now done our second and third line. Actually they went combined, with the second line being the spirals and the third line being the 3 petals. Now comes our outer part. Now this has become circular. We are now going to take it outwards. Now to take it outwards, I'm going to mark my point here, midpoints. Okay. Once we've marked our midpoints here, we are creating a spiral here. So now we are going to just finish this, and I'm going to tell you how we are going to do the lining, circle lining work. We are not going to do it by hand. I'll show you how we can do it using a compass and how we are going to make Ganesha in the center. So now we've done this. Now in the outer line, it's going to be only lines which we are going to do in the last. But before that, just take your compass, put your pen in your compass. Now be very careful when you're doing this. Now the trick is here that you should rotate your copy and not the compass much. It's going to be easier to draw your line with your compass and your pen. Now I'm going to draw my line here also. Now I'm going to draw one line here. Now pause the part. First we are going to draw Ganesha in the center, and after that we are going to finish it using completing the negative areas with color and paint. So before I start doing my Ganesha, let me remove the line marks. This is important because if you start filling your color, watercolors may say the lining work will be, the pencil lines will be visible later on, so I don't want that. I just removed my pencil marks. Now we have removed our pencil mark. Now we are going to draw Ganesha. Now for drawing, you can draw Ganesha in the way you want. Here I am drawing Ganesha with a center face. So let me just draw Ganesha. I am just drawing it with a pencil first. So I'm just drawing the drop shape, and this is the trunk. This is the foot. And now we are going to draw the mukut. Since I wanted to use the spiral beam, that is why I am using my spiral beam to do the mukut. And here I am going to show this mushak. And I am going to show a plate with modak. Comes Ekdant, and we are going to show the hand in the Ashirvad Mudra. The other hand, we are going to show the Laddu. So once you are satisfied with this, I am going to take my thicker pen and we are going to do it in black. Now make sure that your pen is fade proof, waterproof here, otherwise with watercolor base it will bleed. Here I am going to write one. Now we are going to add a little bit of color in the outer part of the mandala to make it look a little more finished. So So I'm going to come back to my watercolors, and if you've used your brush pens initially, you can go for them as well. So here I'll be using the watercolor shades in my petals here. So we will go in for alternate orange and yellow. So if you're doing your colors in the center of any different color combinations, you can also create with that. And if you're creating with us or you create later on, please share with us. We would love to see what color combinations you've used. Now since we've done it using a grid, that is why you will have even number of flower petals here. Now the other alternate is with yellow color. These actually are resembling the modak. So the idea was to create modak in the outside line of the mandala of Ganesha. So now we've done our color in orange and in yellow, and next it's optional, this part. If you want to add a line in the outer part, that's optional. So I'm just going to add my line in the outer part. So now our mandala, Ganeshji special mandala, is ready. If you've liked the session, please give me a lot of hearts and likes. And please share your mandalas with us as well. Thank you so much.